Canada is an immigration hotspot, no doubt. Thousands of people every day come to Canada as a student, worker, or immigrant for various reasons. Whether it's the quality of life, world-class education, or the universal healthcare system, overall, the good outweigh the bad when making a decision to move here. But immigration in itself is a huge undertaking, and starting an application is not something that you want to rush into. You know, I've seen a lot of people jumpstart their application without fully understanding the process and requirements. And while it's true that a lot of people get to start, most of them never get to finish after becoming aware of the obstacles that they would need to overcome before making it to Canada. So with that, here are the 5 things to consider before you start an application to come to Canada. This may serve as your self-assessment to see if you are in fact ready to carry on the responsibilities attached with immigrating to Canada or any country in general. And well, if you do find this video helpful, please do like and subscribe to my channel for more tips on how to immigrate to Canada. By the way, I also make videos on relevant news and case studies on Canadian immigration. So if you fancy that, hit the like and subscribe button as well so that you can keep up to date with videos that I typically release every week. Anyway, let's not prolong this intro any further and, well, let's begin. So first, do not start an application to come to Canada if you do not know your purpose. Is it for studies? Do you want to work here? Or do you want to immigrate directly from your home country? Guys, it is important to determine your purpose in Canada, as this will be the foundation of how you imagine to build yourself up here. And I really want to emphasize this point, which is direction is more important than speed. A lot of people want to get to Canada fast, you know, but they don't know how. And a lot of people hurriedly begin an application due to excitement, but fall short when they realize that they don't qualify for that program. So while it's important to be fast, it's more important to have a direction. And trust me, once you establish this, you'll find yourself moving at a quicker pace compared to people who are just piecing the puzzle along the way. To start, make a roadmap. If your intention is to study in Canada, then your roadmap will probably look like finding a school that is a designated learning institution, choosing a program, meeting the admission requirements, getting a letter of acceptance, and then applying for a study permit. And well, if your intention is to study and eventually apply for PR, your roadmap will look pretty much the same, except that you will now apply for a postgrad work permit, work in a skilled job, meet the minimum requirements for express entry, and maybe get an ITA and then apply for PR. Or if your intention is to work here, your roadmap will also look different. You'll need to find an employer that can give you a job offer or LMIA, apply for that job, and luckily get accepted, and then you can apply for a work permit and even consider provincial nominee programs to fast-track your way to PR. But guys, what I'm really trying to say here is that there are several pathways to come here, and you would need to do your own due diligence to find out which one is best for you. And when I mean best, I mean finding a program or pathway that you're qualified for. And if you find yourself out of time to do your research, then your second best option is to seek advice from a professional, aka an immigration lawyer. And to be honest, you guys, I've fallen victim to this, which is why I'm sharing this tip with you all. You know, I came to Canada as an international student, but somewhere along the way, I decided that I wanted to permanently stay here. And holy, you guys, like I faced a lot of challenges and struggles with that sudden transition, and it was really stressful. I actually mentioned this in my immigration problems video on how my postgrad work permit expired and how I was forced to remain in Canada on a visitor record. Looking back, I wish I had done my research, and I wish that I planned things better instead of going through all the fuss that I faced and am currently facing. And while some things are learned day by day, because you know, programs do end and programs do change, it's good to keep updated with the latest information found on the IRCC website, which you'll see somewhere on the screen. Second, do not start an application to come to Canada if you do not have realistic expectations here, like expecting to apply your profession back home here in Canada, or expecting your lifestyle to remain the same, or even expecting that the whole transition of moving here will be smooth. Oftentimes, we assume that these expectations are reasonable, yet many of them are anything but. And look, don't get me wrong, Canada is a great country and that is why I'm here. But what I'm trying to say is that it's best to know two sides of the same coin, as this will help you grow and become more flexible in dealing with the challenges of immigrating to another country. Personally, I came to Canada with high hopes and a dream, but I was also mindful that it will be tougher on me because I'm a new player entering the game, playing on uneven ground. And well, to name a few, here are some of the realistic expectations I had before arriving to Canada. I knew that I'll be starting from the bottom even after all my merits from my education back in the Philippines. To be honest, I did struggle because of my pride, but I somehow managed to detach my value or my inherent value from my work. Instead, I just aim to do a good job at whatever I do and also connect with as many people as I can. Second is money. I started with only 1,000 Canadian dollars on hand when I arrived to Canada. Right off the bat, I knew that this was far from enough to sustain myself. When I saw the lifestyle here, I knew that I had to work harder to afford things that I like or things that complement my personality, habits, and lifestyle. Although I'm still far from my goal, I do appreciate myself for trying, and to be honest, I've actually become more financially responsible and financially literate when I moved here to Canada. Lastly is immigration. I've accepted the tediousness and the roller coaster ride of emotions that I'll be dealing with when I start the whole immigration process. I've accepted being away from family and friends for a very long time. I've accepted missing out on big events or feeling a little bit left behind. And well, it's okay because I do understand that sacrifices have to be made in order to pursue the greater good. Once I learned to deal with the cards that I've been dealt with, I felt mentally stronger facing any new challenges that come my way. Long story short, setting realistic expectations help us savor life and the messy moments in between, which often hold more meaning anyway. If you plan to live in Canada either temporarily or permanently, you will need to have enough funds to support your stay here. Generally, immigration entails costs and is considered to be a huge investment. Just starting with the application fees, the IELTS exam, medical exam, biometrics, all these small expenses add up. Being a student here is very expensive because you're expected to pay 3 times more than domestic students to take up post-secondary education. And you'll pay roughly around $15,000 to $20,000 per year.
What?
To be an international student here in Canada. Another thing is cost of living. Cost of living may be higher here compared to your cost of living back home, and you have to prepare well in advance for that. But basically guys, I'm letting you know now that a majority of your decision to come to Canada heavily relies on finances. Even if an opportunity to come to Canada exists and you can't afford it, you would definitely be compromising your financial situation in the long run. And if that's the case, you may not even accomplish your goals here if you find yourself in a financial pinch. So, main lesson here is to have your finances intact. And well, in this case, more is always better than enough. Always go above and beyond, because having just enough means scraping by with a bare minimum, and this can be very dangerous when shit hits the fan. Oops, I'm sorry, my language. Number 4, do not start an application to come to Canada if you haven't assessed yourself on whether you should DIY or seek legal help. And I'm not gonna delve too much into this point because I actually made a video about this found here, which you can watch at a convenient time. If you're a problem solver that's competent, organized, detailed, and experienced, then you should consider DIY. You will save a lot more, and there's a sense of accomplishment knowing that you did this all by yourself. But also, do note that not everybody is qualified to do DIY. Effective DIYers are aware of this and have assessed the risk before taking the plunge. So with DIY, it really requires a lot of time, patience, and a lot of research before starting an application to come to Canada. And real talk, if you find yourself DIYing just to save a couple bucks, but you're not equipped, then I'm very sorry you guys, but DIY may not be for you. Another thing that I really want to emphasize on is this. Avoid agencies at all costs. They are unauthorized and not recognized by IRCC. Even if they say they have a POEA, hi Pinoy Care, having a POEA or a registered business absolutely means nothing to the Canadian government if that agency is not an immigration lawyer or an immigration consultant registered by ICCRC. And so if you are planning to spend money on legal help, take the first step in the right direction and seek help from an immigration lawyer. And there's this ongoing misconception that seeking help from an immigration lawyer is more expensive than going to an agency, and this is actually false. In actuality, lawyers can save you a lot of time and money. Just imagine going to an agency and then that agent applies you to a program that you're not qualified for. You'll be spending tens and thousands of dollars only to get a rejection or your application refused. But if you had initially just went to a lawyer, paid $250 for a consultation fee, and you were advised that you did not qualify under that program or pathway, then you would have saved yourself a lot of time and money going to a lawyer, giving you legal options on the best route to come to Canada. The reason for this is because lawyers are bound by a professional code of ethics and they have to act in your best interest, not theirs. That is the major difference between a lawyer and an agent. A lawyer acts in your best interest while an agent acts in their own best interest. So choose wisely, either DIY or seek legal help. Lastly, point number 5, do not start an application to come to Canada if you are unable or you are not capable of following through. Guys, when you make a decision to move to another country, you have to commit. Immigration especially should not be taken lightly. Like, you can't say one day you're all in and then the next day you fold like a cheap lawn chair. Don't apply for a study permit if you're not going to finish your program. Don't come to Canada to work and illegally find ways to stay. Don't come to Canada if you plan on cheating the system when they gave you the privilege of entering the country. Mainly, what I'm trying to say here is follow through for the reasons of why you came to Canada and don't expect anything more from that. Anything above that is just icing on the cake. For example, when I came to Canada on a study permit, I made sure to study well and excel so that after when I applied for my postgrad work permit, I can align myself in a skilled job right away. And in the time that I was working, I made sure to do my job diligently and make sure to focus all my efforts and skills to contribute to that company. Eventually, that helped me meet the minimum requirements for express entry, and now I'm just waiting to be approved for PR. One thing you have to understand when you go through this immigration process is that there will be a lot of challenges along the way. There are emotional challenges. Being away from a loved one is one example. There are financial challenges, and this definitely wears on you. There's also this loneliness factor or the feeling of doing this all on your own. Honestly, I had moments where I did cry myself to sleep at night. I mean, that actually happened. But the next day I had to keep going because the longer I delay this, the farther I'll be from actualizing my goals. The whole point is about trying. Sometimes you can try as much as you can, give it your best effort and not succeed. But if you don't try at all, there's a guarantee that you will not succeed. So the only difference here is knowing that you tried. And that's a better option, knowing you gave it your all and realize that it was not for you. So at least you won't have regrets in your life later on. Anyway, that's it. That's all I have for today. I hope you guys don't take this the wrong way. I wish the best for everybody in their journey to Canada. Otherwise, I wouldn't be sharing this video. So if you enjoyed this, leave a comment below, as I always enjoy reading what you have to write. Also follow me on my social media. I have a TikTok and an Instagram account. Also like and subscribe to my channel for more inspirational gibberish from me. Thank you again for taking the time to listen to my thoughts and tips. I hope that you're all safe and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers!
you.